Hi, this is Rob Leo, and in this brief tutorial, we're going to continue to look at PowToon. So far, we've created a free account, we've added some text, and we've added some characters to our scene. What I want to do next is add some objects. And to get started, I'm going to click on this first slide, and I'm going to duplicate it. And that's the one I want to work with. Notice it has the same timeline as the previous slide with all the same timings. I've got my two characters coming in from the right and from the left. Recall if you need to animate those or change how they appear, you can click on them, click on the gear, and you can adjust their pose. You can adjust their animation. She's looping 5 times, doing a idea pose. You can also flip them. You can make them move from A to B, as I did with the text earlier, and you could add special effects. Let's move on to adding some objects to the screen. Under the Objects menu, again, you have all sorts of basic free stuff. If you're looking for some shapes, notice the hand gestures, the tech and the web. A lot of them are pay for, but you do have quite a library of free stuff you can choose from. And when you click on it, you have all sorts of options to get started. If you don't see something right off the bat that you'd like, you can always do a search. I want to search for a movie screen, and it may or may not have what you're looking for. Got a bunch of screens here. I don't really see a movie screen, but that's all right. Let's just add a computer instead. And when I click on it, you can see that it's automatically pushed on the page. I'd like to add one more thing to this, but I want it to be my own image. Let me do an image search for the PowToon logo. I'm just going to search for images. And I want to make sure I'm using stuff that's been labeled for reuse. This black and white one looks like it's good enough for my purposes here. I'm simply going to do a right click on this and save image as to my desktop. Let's return to PowToon. And before I add that, let me just get rid of some of the stuff that was in the previous slide. If you recall, in the previous slide, I duplicated things. I don't need the same text anymore, so I can get rid of that. I'm just selecting it and clicking delete on my keyboard. And now that I have this one object, I want to continue to add more. And I don't see a PowToon logo here, so I'm going to look under media, and I am going to upload my own media. Notice it's searching for a movie screen. I want to close out of that and upload media. Just drag this in. There's the PowToon logo. Let me reduce the size of it. Let me place it on top of the computer screen. And let's make this the young people say something instead of just looking at the screen here. I'm going to delete the young lady. I'm going to move this stuff over to the right, and I want to have a speech bubble now with my young man here. Notice my slide is still 6 seconds long. If I need to increase or decrease the slide size, I can. I'm just going to move it up to 10 seconds. I've got the kid showing up at a half a second. I've got the computer showing up shortly thereafter, or actually at the same time. Let me move that over to 1 second. And I've got the word PowToon popping into the scene at, let me put this at 2 seconds. Let's go back to our text. I want to get a speech bubble here. And I want the kid to say it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Notice with this, I can click the gear and I could arrange it differently. Actually, that's not what I want. Disregard that. There we go. We'll flip that and we'll say it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Move this into my speech bubble, and I'm just going to edit this. Actually, let's make it appear. We'll do a couple different things here. Let's add 1, 2, and 3 into its own bit of text. So I'm going to add title text 1. I'm going to add another title text. Let's call this one 2. And we'll add one more title text, and this one we'll call 3. Notice you can see down below I've got 1, 2, and 3. I want it's as easy as, here it is, I want this to disappear after 5 seconds. I want 1 to show up at 6 seconds and disappear at 7. I want 2 to show up at 8 seconds. Let me add another second or 2 to my slide. We'll have that disappear at 9. And then we'll have 3 show up at 10 seconds. And we'll have that disappear at 11. Let's also place these appropriately. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see how it looks. I've got the kid lasting the whole slide. I've got the computer coming on the scene at 1 second in. Let's make the computer drop down from the top. And then I've got my bit of text. I've got the PowToon logo coming in at this moment. Let's make the speech bubble appear at 3 seconds. And let's make the text appear at 4 seconds. And let's drag this a little bit longer. There we go. Hopefully this will look good. Let's see how it looks. Alrighty, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Let's just recap what we did. We basically duplicated a slide and then removed some of the features. Recall, to duplicate, you're going to click on the dots and you could duplicate the slide, or you could simply continue this scene on a new slide, or you could trash it or add one below. Once we've added our slide, we had all sorts of stuff on the timeline. We added our character. Again, you can adjust the pose and the animation. We added an object from the object menu. This object menu happened to have a computer screen that worked well for us. We added our own custom media. We went to the media button and uploaded our own. You can also search Flickr, you can search Storyblocks or some image frames as well. We added a speech bubble from the text menu. We reversed its orientation so that the bubble looks like it's coming from the kid. And then we added some text. One bit of text appeared and then disappeared. And then we had the rest of the text pop in periodically from 6 seconds. I'll probably drag this a little bit more, but you kind of get the idea. Each one of these things is timed to come in at a certain specific point in time and then disappear at a specific point in time as well. Hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for listening.